Good afternoon, gamers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Games with Dave. I almost said Gave with Dames. That wouldn't have worked out very well. Today, I am excited to be joined by my pal, Pawel Kicman from Helltongue Games. Currently, he is kickstarting a really badass game called Hellpower, which is Morkborg and Cyborg compatible, about super powered beings coming from hell during an apocalypse or creating the apocalypse. And yeah, welcome back to the show, Pablo. I think this is your third time on.
I think so. It might be the first time.
It might
And
be.
yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here with you. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so excited. And we got to catch up before the show. So for anyone out there watching that may just stumble upon this recording in the future, um, what can you what is Hellpower exactly besides awesome?
Okay, so basically, it's as you mentioned, it's a Morkborg hack about people, player characters being normal people. Well, relatively normal. I will get to that in a second. Um, Facing a huge threat in the shape of superpowered individuals that are pretty much bad, like really, really bad, like murderers and CEOs and thieves and all kind of the worst people you can think of. So they got powers from hell, and now they basically rule the earth to a certain degree. And then your job is to hunt them down, find their weakness, exploit said weakness, and then ideally kill them. And that's yeah, that's the game.
I can't imagine it's going to be that easy to kill a hell-powered being.
Oh no! It's like if anyone is familiar with Morkborg or basically any other OSR game, or even I don't know, even D&D, imagine that you have like your character have like 8 HP or maybe 10 HP is a lot. Sometimes it's like 1 HP. So that's that, and you deal. Uh, I don't know, maybe like you deal D10 damage. That's a lot. So now imagine the powered being that you're fighting has 666 HP and is doing 10 d10 damage. So that changes the perspective on things. And obviously, as I mentioned, like D&D, people are used to fighting like dragons and whatnot, but it's not like like you cannot do the same. Like it's not about like bonking the superpowered evil overman or whoever with a stick for 50 turns. That won't work because he or she or they will rip you apart in one turn. So that's guaranteed. But there are obviously ways to mitigate that risk to boost your chances from 0 to 1%, and then to take different measures and strategies and exploit their weaknesses to even the playing field. Just maybe not even, but just boost your chances of survival. Um so that's going to be difficult, and the whole game is designed to encourage players to follow a certain path and to take different actions to boost themselves to fight a specific powered because that's how they're called. Because I felt like supervillains would be boring, like powered. So that's kind of the gameplay loop to go and look for different ways that you can like find a weakness and then exploit the weakness, and it can be uh, different things. It might be something as simple as a toxin or poison or something like that that will kind of physically incapacitate. Physically incapacitate. I lost the word.
Incapacitate?
Incapacitate, yeah, your enemy, or kind of just bring them down to like your level. Or it could be something more psychological or even political. that will kind of play on not their stats but on their character and how they behave, and you might be even able to turn them to your side, etc.,
Hmm,
etc. There'll be a lot of different ways to do it, to go about it, and sometimes, yeah, you will be able to just put a fancy like mecha suit armor and just roll it out as
nice.
well. Why not? But it basically every powered will require a different strategy and different approach.
All right. It sounds horrifying because I've seen the. I wish I could pop the spread up on screen of Overman because I just picture him coming up, grabbing someone, flying up, and bloop, letting them go from way up high and being like, "You're done."
Yeah, and in the meantime, he would do different stuff to you. So that I'm not going to describe in much details
No,
here.
I
So
don't. No, I don't
there's
want you to give too
but
much away.
yeah, he's a very very bad man. Uh, so yeah, he's got basically a whole country turned into a kind of a concentration camp slash prison for humans that he can just play with like toys. That's
Wow.
his that what he does in his spare time, and he's got a lot of spare time. So that's kind of the level of how bad those powered individuals are. Like they are not bad, like I don't know, like Homelander from the Boys TV series bad. They're much 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 worse.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of get that vibe off of this. I mean, they are powered by hell. You can't really expect them to like be nice
Yeah.
even a little bit. So, with this being Mork Borg and Cyborg compatible, I know it does use a modified version of the Mork Borg rules. Can you explain that a little bit for folks?
Yeah, so basically, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what kind of system I will use for this game because I knew I want to make kind of this kind of game, and then it was just trying to figure out what would work well. I had a few different ideas, but then I kind of tried to compare the elements I will have in Hellpower and elements that our game have, and when it came to Morkborg and Cyborg, uh, I was like, okay, so my game is about like normal people, like weak people, uh, facing against imminent doom and things that are just, you know, outside of their reach, and basically, kind of being like facing the impossible challenges. And I thought, yeah, it's a bit like that in Workbook as well. And then I thought, okay, I need something simple that I'll be able to add some elements, but still keep it very simple. I want rules to be to fit on kind of one page. And I thought, okay, Workbook again, that would fit the bill. And then I just kind of tried to figure out different elements, how it could work, and I landed on, yeah, let's make it run on kind of more core engine, which is obviously it's pretty kind of OSR-ish, and you could potentially make it compatible with a lot of different games that use kind of D20 because it's pretty similar and pretty simple. But I will add there will be some nuances and there will be some additions and subtractions from the rules of Morkborg to better fit the setting and the idea behind the kind of the gameplay loop. So it's still, I feel like a lot of things will be similar, and I want kind of the book to also have that vibe and also the similar structure. So like in Morkborg or Cyber, you have the kind of the calendar of doom that you count down to imminent demise, and it
Right.
will be the same here as well. So a lot of common themes and elements, and that's why I decided to make it kind of compatible.
Nice. So, is there any particular mechanic from Mork Borg that you had a really hard time taking away that you're like, this might fit, but I've got to pull it out? Or,
I don't think so. probably not. Like most of the elements were kind of more or less intact. Because then again, it's a very simple game in terms of mechanics, and you can do a lot just kind of figuring out things on the fly. So that's why I thought would be a good base because I can add some elements. So kind of the biggest addition would be skills, and skills being not like skills that you use, but skills like more of attributes that give you kind of mechanical advantage in certain situations. So on top of stuff like strength and agility and stuff like that, will be skills like I don't know, planning or stealth or lockpicking or hacking, stuff like that. That would be its own thing, and from those things you'll be able to kind of pick and choose and build like from blocks your own character that will have certain specific abilities that will give you a little bit of an advantage over um, most of the things in the game because uh, you will still be kind of a normal person, but some things you'll kind of excel at. Like for example, you might be a hacker, and if you're a hacker, you will probably be a very good hacker, at least decent enough to be useful to I don't know hack into a database and get kind of secret documents on kind of that can lead you to finding the weakness of powered individual
Ooh, yeah, because
and stuff like that. And also, it's more to allow people to play with it and build their own archetypes because there will be 6 archetypes in total that you can kind of choose from. But then you can customly build your own kind of class or profession or whatever. I'm not even sure. Well, you kind of archetype.
nice.
Uh, so that's the biggest addition, but most of the things will be pretty similar. Like in Morkborg you have omens, and Cyber you have glitches, and here you will have divine intervention that mechanically works in the same way. Um, so there will be a lot of similar elements. I think someone who's familiar with Borgs will just open up the book and okay, yeah, I feel like
I got it.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in here.
Awesome. So you just mentioned the archetypes. Which is your favorite one, if you feel like divulging that, I guess you would say?
Um, sure. So I think my favorite could be Mastermind because it's an archetype that's all about planning and kind of being cunning and smart, and also I think it will be a lot of fun to play as that archetype kind of from sheer kind of role playing perspective. It also will mechanically support a lot of things that I think might be important because in fiction, a lot of times you have that kind of person that's a mastermind for the group or kind of a leader of
Yep.
I don't know resistance or whatever. Like in Injustice, you obviously have Batman who's like leading the whole group, and because he's so smart and he can plan so well, they can get some kind of advantage over Superman and his goons. So that will be very interesting character to kind of build and play as.
Sounds
Uh,
it.
Yeah, and also I think it will. I can only imagine that if someone wishes to play Hellpower as a campaign, this will also be come handy. This archetype to kind of help guide the team throughout the whole campaign. Because let's say you want to kill the 6 main baddies in this game, you can easily plan like 12, 15, 20 hours to do that. Uh,
Oh,
and also then you can basically also kind of change the characters. Like you can have a group of 10, and each player, like let's say you have 5 players, and each player has kind of controls 2 characters and can exchange them between missions, for example. Because let's say one mission will be purely kind of political, psychological, will be all about kind of you know, like leveraging certain aspects of the pirate character and stuff like that. And the other mission might be just, you go into a lab and you just cause havoc and you kind of steal something and you brawl, etc. So it could be a fun addition to have like, a bunch of characters, like a larger group. You can just pick who's going to go to that mission. And that's why I wanted people to be able to create kind of custom characters, so you can be a mastermind who's excellent, I don't know, in demolition, for example, as well. So so that should be fun.
So you brought up the mastermind. How long do you think Butcher would survive in this world?
Oh, I think he could do well. He could do well, especially having a kind of certain powers, because in this game you'll also be able to kind of have powers, uh, but the way it will work, like you want to be able to have powers on pair with the most powerful beings. There are two ways you can get some abilities that are kind of superhuman. The first way is very simple and kind of usually half of the characters would have this, because it's kind of a random mutation that you can have. Oh, apologies. Uh, but kind of the random mutation gives you a power, but it's very useless. Like the power can be like having 1% of your body invisible, so like invisible hand, and that's it. So it's useless, but it's kind of funny and builds your character. But there's another way to get like temporary advantage, and kind of get stronger, strong enough to maybe even survive more than one blow. And you can do it by hunting imps, like
Hmm.
little devilish imps from hell, because those imps are very rare, but they are the only physical manifestation of hell that you can find on Earth. And it's very worth kind of tracking them down. And then if you eat them, or you drink their blood, or you kind of digest them in some way, you can get some powers that will boost you. It will cost you a lot, depending on kind of how powerful you will become for a certain period of time, but it will cost you greatly. So it's kind of a way, like, like you need to be aware of the risk. So you can get some cool powers, but it'll come with a cost. It's not always going to be a cost like, oh, you will be dead in 24 hours. No, so it might be, but there will be also things that will mechanically influence you how you play, and also in kind of in a fiction and role play will affect your character as well.
Nice. I can I can just picture, that being kind of a good scenario to have two characters. If, say, the powers caused you to be exhausted for 2 days, you don't want to be going back out and trying to fight Overman. That wouldn't be
Yeah.
very good. um, so one of the things that I really like with this campaign is the team you're working with and how they're tied into the stretch goals too at the same time. I guess we'll break that in half. Can you tell folks about the team that you have on for Hellpower?
So yeah, so actually the team is kind of work in progress, because we had some changes in the kind of in the core team. There might be some new people coming in to do more art on it, but kind of uh, the core team initially was me and Camille, who's done the cover for Corkboard previously, and he was supposed to be responsible for most of the art. Unfortunately, he only can do a little bit. So Michał Gaworski, who I worked with on Children of Urata, for example, uh,
Nice.
um, the kind of little supplement for Pirate Borg. that basically gave like Michał has won a kind of the best artwork in Cabin Fever Game Jam for Pirate Boards. That's pretty cool. So Michał will be doing a lot of art for this book. And we have people who made this cover to be so amazing. So Strega, they've done the artwork for kind of the 9 panels you see on the cover. And Tommy, creator of Swamp and Obscure and Grotten, he's done the logo, which is absolutely like I could put the logo just the logo on a blank page and it would be awesome.
Yeah.
So he's done that, and also now kind of tying into guest appearances. Tommy is also one of the guests that hopefully will do an artwork for the kind of inside of the book. Should we meet the stretch goal? But there are some other artists as well. There's Philip Jensen, creator of Trapped Within. A great designer, great artist. So super excited to hopefully have him on board as well for 1 or maybe 2 pages. And also Johan Noor, who most people should recognize because he's one of the co-creators of Morgborg and Cyborg. So all the amazing artwork you see and the kind of the Stockholm Cartelian books, that's Johan. So should we get that stretch goal, he will do an artwork as well. And then kind of last but not least is Rafał Szłapa, who's my friend. And yeah, we go way back, and he's an amazing comic book artist. And I thought, like, listen, it's inspired by comic books, so I need to have a comic book. So the last stretch goal is basically for Rafał to draw a kind of 16 pages, 16 pages comic book that will be a story introduction to Hellpower. And yeah, that would be amazing to have.
Yeah, that sounds sick, having the comic to go with this. I mean,
yeah, and we'll see if we kind of nail that stretch goal. I wonder, we'll see, because it might be a kind of 16 pages, just a kind of floppy book that will be separate from the core book, or maybe it will be integrated in the book itself. We'll see. But first, we need to get there, and we'll see.
I think we can get you there, my friend. I mean, this is such a badass project. It's like, I can't wait. And with all the art and like Tommy's logo, the second I saw that, the first thing I thought of was Metallica's album Kill 'Em All. And it kind of fits really well with this game of Kill 'Em All.
yeah, exactly. And in terms of Metallica, a lot of this game is also inspired by music. Not exactly Metallica kind of metal, but more of new metal, industrial metal, and you can also find an official playlist, official kind of music playlist or soundtrack for Hellpower that was done by Enter from Bastarji. Who's and he basically loves doing all the playlists for different games. He's done playlists for Corpor as well. So on this playlist you will find Marilyn Manson, you will find Rammstein, Rob Zombie, Combi Christ, Slipknot, you will find Mick Gordon, you will find who else is there? Disturbed. So
Nice.
so a lot of kind of 90s, early 2000s new metal, industrial metal bands and artists that should fit the mood of Hellpower perfectly.
Nice. It sounds like it. Like, oh, dude, I can't wait for this game. Like, this is going to be, it is like going to be so fun. And I'm looking at the, like, just like the stretch goals and everything on here. And I'm like, wow, it's like you're bringing your own little band of superheroes together to work on the project. It's really cool.
True.
So one thing have you obviously have done play testing with this. So, what has been the most creative takedown you've seen of one of the villains?
So this game hasn't been play
Oh,
tested
it
yet,
hasn't yet. Okay.
so it's still in development. So there's still a lot to do. It's very early stage, so even the whole script is not even written yet. But it will obviously go through playtesting. A lot of kind of initial back and forth I do myself. I never play my games, um, believe it or not. And I have a few reasons for that, but yeah, there will be a lot of playtesters hopefully that will help me to refine the game. So it's very difficult. Yeah, why not? So for now, I don't have any great stories to tell about how it went, but I will hopefully soon enough.
Oh, I can't wait to hear them because, it's like I said at the beginning, I just picture Overman grabbing someone, flying up, beating on him and whatnot, and then just boop, bye bye.
Yeah,
So,
I think it will be a learning curve for some players. Like they might be like, okay, let's try like one of the lesser supervillains, just to see if we can just bonk them in the head, and they will try it and they will die and they will realize, okay, no, we need a different kind of different way around this. And I see Matthew's questions to why I don't play just my own games, because it kind of skews my perspective. If I would play my game on a kind of play test level, I would be like, oh, everything sucks, and I need to like redo the whole thing, and then I would just repeat it into eternity. So that's it's kind of very difficult for me to get a certain level of distance and to see it from kind of a larger perspective, to kind of see the larger picture and just gain some perspective on this. So that's why I prefer people to play my game than kind of write me detailed kind of reviews, and then I can go into more details. I can fix stuff and I can test it again and see how it goes. Because I need to like take a step back, and because in the end I want to be the one who will be playing this. Like I'm not the target audience for this, as other people are. So I want to hear from them what they like, what they don't like, because I could just redo different stuff over and over and never be happy, or I could say like, oh yeah, I think it's great, but it's not for other people. So I'm always making games for people, and kind of their what they have to say is basically the most important thing.
I agree, and I can definitely see that perspective. And I can relate to it because I used to come up, as you know, I would have my scripted questions, and I would sit there before an interview and I'd be like, God, these questions suck. And
Yeah.
now I'm just like, "Yeah, I'll take a quick look at the page and then just vibe off the questions, and I totally get it. So, um, of the bad folk we've seen so far in like the spread pages and whatnot, who would you say is your favorite that you're willing to reveal to folks at this time?
Mm, it's a good question. I think there is one character, and you should be able to. On the cover of the book, she's in the middle, and she will be probably the most important character in the whole game. And I think, well, important for many different reasons, because this character is one of the bad guys, but she will be very important to to how you kind of play, how you progress. So yeah, so she's super important. Her name is Advent. Well, her kind of super villain name is Advent. And oh, hi Vincent. Oh, and Vincent joined the chat, and Vincent is basically a person who will do layouts.
Awesome.
Vincent is an amazing designer. And yeah, a pal of mine who helped me immensely on corp work. So I'm super excited to work with Vincent again because he's so great. So hi, Vincent. And yeah, for Advent, yeah, she will be crucial. And she's basically the only character that Overman is maybe not afraid of, but asking some kind of respect to. And she's also a link between you'll see between different stuff that might influence, like, my basically in the middle of the game you'll see there will be kind of the GM will be able to turn things upside down
Nice.
thanks to her presence in the game. That may change basically the whole thing, like whole game for you. So
Wow. All right. I can't wait to meet Advent. So, um, what would, well, I can see from reading, but can you tell folks that may not necessarily see the backer kit that what some of your inspirations for this game were?
sure. So I think The Boys comes naturally more comic book than the TV series, but I think both to a degree. And funny thing, because at some point I even wanted to make an official The Boys game, and if honestly, if it would be like 3 years ago, I think I could get the license. But now with the TV series being so popular, kind of the behind the scenes things are that Amazon doesn't own kind of the license. They own the license for the TV series, which is a kind of separate thing. But they do have kind of maybe not a say, but they are kind of in the process of getting a license for a comic book, kind of, because I can only imagine how it works. I can imagine that, like, you have to agree that you want to use the characters from the TV series, but only from the comic book, like their appearances and whatnot. So I think it got a bit more difficult to get that license than it was a few years ago. But yeah, that was that was one thing that I wanted to do at some point. But I'm happy I didn't. I have, I think like Hellpower is more unique, and it kind of basically resonates with me a lot more.
Yeah.
But there are other things, a lot of kind of comic book things like Injustice. Well, Injustice is actually, first off, it was a video game, but it's also a comic book series. Spawn, Punisher, Suicide Squad, Blaze. That's written by C. Spurrier. It's an
Kitty.
amazing book because, yeah, Mia. And yeah, the Blaze is basically the probably the biggest influence on the Overman, because in the Blaze there is this character that's well pretty much deranged, and the problem is that character is much more powerful than Superman even. And this character is motivated only by kind of wreaking havoc, like raping and killing,
Ooh.
not always in this order. And so I felt like, whoa, it like you can make a kind of a character that's basically like pure evil, like only kind of acts like an animal, but but it's more powerful than Superman, and that kind of creates very interesting scenarios. So that was big influence, and honestly, it wasn't my kind of initial influence. But then I kind of remembered, oh, there's this book series called The Reckoners by Brandon Sanderson, and it's basically about that. It's about people, like normal people, but not everyone are normal, but kind of normal people fighting against superhero, like super villains. And in this world, basically every person that has a superpower is evil, because it kind of corrupts you. It's more than that, but I won't spoil the books. But it's pretty similar in the premise.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's great. It's kind of supposedly like young adults, but Brandon Sanderson is an amazing writer, and it's a great series as well. And also, I would say work of Alan Moore. So things like Miracle Man and Watchmen. Well, Watchmen was an inspiration for the cover. This is an homage to one of the covers for Watchmen.
Nice.
So yeah, a lot of those, and basically the whole kind of comic book things because I've been in close relationship with comic books for like almost a decade. But it's basically a love-hate relationship. So this is also a product of that love-hate relationship.
Gotcha. So you get to get a little bit out of the system, and
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I just lost my little note section here that I was keeping. I asked you that one. There. I lost my train of thought. I keep seeing the cat, and it gets me distracted. Oh, she's a cutie.
Oh, she is. But she's also needy.
Yeah. I have my cat locked in the other room, or else she'd be right here, like staring into the camera, like who's in there. So.
Oh no, Mia is not. Yeah, like you're not able to contain her because if I would close her in another room, she would just scratch the doors.
She loves her dad.
Mia.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Now, are you going with this being third-party license? Are you going to open it for other people to make their own villains and publish it, or?
Yeah, of course. Like the core Borg has a third-party license that's basically written, but it's not published because I don't have a website yet. But it's coming. It's like
Nice.
I'm working on it. So Hellpower will have the same. Hellpower will have its own website, and you'll be able to find the third-party license, and you'll be able to do things, and then you'll be able even to kind of upload it to the official Hellpower site. That'll be the kind of repository of third-party content.
Sick
stuff, and I always kind of highly encourage people to do that and to do basically anything they want with it. Like if it's not kind of offensive or just if it's not bigotry, like feel free to go crazy with it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sharpen my pencils and get them ready for
Please
when
do.
this comes out, because I've already got some ideas ruminating in my head now of like, something like this would be really neat.
Yeah, and I think that's the one of the most powerful things that Moorburg has done and why it's so successful is the first party license because like the Moorburg book is pretty small, but with all the additional content, it's just endless sea of inspirations and things you can use. So I think that's the beauty of Morkborg and Cyborg. Like there's just so much things. It's both like it's good and bad things. It's creative and repetitive things, but it all comes together into like such a beautiful effort from the community. And I absolutely love everything I see being produced by community, and it's so like it really kind of tells you how like what kind of people creators of Morphle are.
Absolutely.
Meaning supportive,
right,
and kind of pretty much kind of pushing people to be creative as well. So it's great.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that really made me fall in love with the indie RPG scene was one, how open the games are, and two, especially like in the Mork Borg community, how supportive everybody is. Like, it's great. I love it so much. And
Yeah.
well, those were all the questions I had, my friend. I would like to see if anybody watching has any further questions. And if they do, please ask away.
Yeah, we'll see them on screen thanks to your new technology.
Yeah. For anyone wondering that's watched any of my older interviews, I've switched streaming programs, and I think this has been one of my better streams with everything. So, and I always have a blast talking to you. So,
Thank you. Likewise. Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
I'm trying to look through here and make sure. Oh, the different pledge tiers. That is one thing I wanted to let you speak to. There are three. Do you want to tell folks about them that might be kind of on the fence about backing?
Yeah, so they're very simple. The first one is just for the digital version, so kind of PDF. That will come with like every additional digital add-ons will be added to that as well. The second one is just a book, hardcover, um, and I think good news is that I kind of now figure out the best ways to send those books to people, which took me some time, but now I think I have pretty decent and pretty good rates for shipping to US, UK, and Europe. And then the last one is a book, hardcover. Obviously, each level comes with a digital version as well. The last is a book, digital version, character sheet. My character sheet is absolutely just bonkers, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. And a small surprise. So you're getting back to the character sheet. So if some people might recognize character sheets for Korburg were done by Łukasz Kowalczuk, who happens to be an artist and kind of creator of the official Morkborg comic book to Helen Galgenbach. And he has done the character sheet for Hellpower. And he like what he did, like I've never seen anything like it because it's a comic book that's a character sheet. Like it's like narratively, like it narratively makes sense. So it's like a real comic book. That's a
Sick.
character sheet. So it's basically character sheet in the form of comic book with kind of sequential logic,
Nice.
which is absolutely amazing.
That sounds
Um,
amazing.
Yeah, and I just need to. I'm not sure it's not on the campaign page. I need to pop it up out there because it's amazing. Um, so yeah, and then I see we have some questions from John about how many superheroes will be in the book. So 6 main bodies, and I think about kind of dozen minor ones, and there will be also a generator to create your own. So there will be, yeah, it'll be kind of a lot, I think,
Nice.
enough to get through like a like small or big campaign. And in terms of next question map, no, I don't think so. That probably won't be very relevant because that's like I do, I like to do modern times games like Corebook was modern times as well. It's also not our world, but it's similar enough that we can just use our world map and you can just do it. Like you can put the action in the UK, in the US, or in Ghana, and it will work out perfectly. So it's kind of agnostic in terms of where it happens, but you can go nuts and you can basically decide for yourself where you want to put it in. Uh, so yeah. Uh, Next question. So Eldritch Automata Backer Kit. Eldritch Automata is an amazing campaign, amazing game. I highly recommend people check it out because it looks fantastic. Yeah, goal to submit ideas for mecha pilots and monsters. So I will not accept pitches for specific villains or NPCs because um, that would probably create a lot of additional work and costs. But there will be different surveys and playtesters will be able to help out with this. So community will be able to propose or vote for certain ideas I may have or they might have. So it won't be on an individual basis. It will be like a tier for people to make their own thing. Uh, but people will be able to basically kind of pitch their idea on a forum and kind of vote in surveys and be and like do play testing and then also come up with some ideas and that will be very valuable. So the committee has a say in this, and based on the like we do have like the first um, sorry, we do have a first kind of survey and like a poll. Which famous superhero group would you like to see in a kind of hell-powered version? And currently we have X-Men being in kind of a first spot. So yeah, you want X-Men? I'll give you hell-powered kind of X-Men. So that's cool, and we'll have more surveys and more different ideas how community can help build this game. So that's sorry. I have cat's hair in my eyes, so that's why I'm just.
I can't imagine evil Cyclops. It's just you're trying to get away from him, and he's just like mowing you down with his eyes, and it's Jesus, it's scary.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun. That's why I'm over here with my evil little laugh. Oh, and yeah. Well, Pavu, that is all I had, my friend. And thank you, folks, for tuning in. Did you have anything that I missed that you would like to add?
I don't know if I do. Well, the only thing I can say, if you like what I said, if you kind of feel like you dig this idea, please support the project. It means a lot. But if you cannot, or you just don't want to support the project, then just share this interview, for example, with your friends or with your kind of social media community. That's sometimes that's even a bigger help than backing. So sharing in social media, just following, commenting, asking questions. I really appreciate that. That's an immense help. So thank you everyone for that. You can also join my Discord channel. I probably should have that link somewhere on the campaign page, or if not, I will. And yeah, we do have a kind of small but dedicated Discord community. We talk about different stuff, and also we'll be doing playtesting from the Discord side as well. So join us. And yeah, thank you just for listening, because if you hear me talking now, it means you've listened to at least 10 seconds of this interview. That also means a lot. So thank you so much.
And you are welcome. And Dark Urban also posted about Brightburn. I love that movie with that twisted little kid.
Yeah.
That actually gives me an idea. But all right, folks. Well, thank you
keep it in
all.
mind.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Pavu. I always have a great time talking to you. I cannot wait to play this. And folks watching, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to the channel. It would be a huge help. And other than that, folks, have a lovely day and tell all your friends to back Hellpower, because it's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah.
All right.
That. And follow Dave. Follow Dave.
Yeah, thanks. And follow Pavu and keep your eye out for his website. I'll be sharing that. And I'll also make sure I put the Discord channel link in the description after we're done. And
cheers.
Awesome. I want to get you as much of a following as I can, man. You do a killer job with stuff. So
thank you. And likewise, it's so good. Like, I'm so happy to see you doing more interviews over kind of next few weeks. You'll be a busy man, but
I will
the lineup is amazing. So like, yeah, like we need more people like you, Dave. So
well, thanks.
super cool.
It's crazy how many interviews I have booked over the next few months. So if you haven't, you have a Haltung page on Facebook, right?
I do have it on Facebook. Yeah.
I will get a link for that in there, and check out the Games with Dave Facebook page. And yeah, I could sit here and hype you up all day, man. So all right, folks, have a great afternoon, and thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Take care.